Yeah, I totally get that. But that's just life, isn't it? It ebbs and flows. Sorry, I gotta run. I've just had a customer come through the door. Alright, no worries. I'll give you a call later. Alright, bye. Hello, welcome. Yes, I am. Please come in and take a seat. What can I do for you? Of course. And where are you wanting to travel to? Yes. Fascinating South Africa, also known as the Rainbow Nation, is a land of varied topography, great natural beauty and cultural diversity. Yes, a wonderful choice. Now, have you been to my travel agency before? You have? Okay, perfect. Just remind me of your name again. Okay, great. I'm just going to pop on the computer and bring up your personal details, and then we'll go from there. Okay? All right. Okay, what dates were you looking at going? Okay. Yes, 2 weeks is definitely enough time to have an enriching experience. What areas were you thinking about visiting? Johannesburg, of course. And Kruger National Park. Perfect. And Cape Town, lovely. Can I suggest an itinerary for you where you'll be able to get the most out of your trip? Yes, sure. It's my pleasure. So I suggest you fly into Johannesburg, where you'll be able to experience the fun and exciting city. Then afterwards, you can go to Kruger National Park, where the lion, leopard, zebra, buffalo and rhino roam the bushveld. Then from there, you can either catch a domestic flight or alternatively catch a scenic overnight train in tourist class to Cape Town, where you'll be able to experience one of the most beautiful cities in the world. How does that sound? Yes, sure, no worries. I'll just pop on the computer and book you those flights. Okay, we after a morning, afternoon or evening flight. Okay, so you're going to be flying into Johannesburg's OR Tambo International Airport, which is Africa's second most busiest airport after Cairo in Egypt. Now, what are the top things you wanted to do in each area that you wanted to visit in South Africa? Starting with Johannesburg. The Apartheid Museum, yes, great. And what about Kruger National Park? Go on a safari, definitely a must. And lastly, what was the top thing you wanted to do in Cape Town? Hike up Table Mountain. Okay, great. Well, make sure you pack some sturdy and comfortable shoes. Yes, I can definitely give you some information on these things and provide a few more if you like. Yes, sure, no worries. Now, while I talk about South Africa and its top attractions, I'll pop some images and footage on the screen for your enjoyment. South Africa, officially the Republic of South Africa, is located on the southernmost tip of the African continent and is the southernmost country on the mainland of the Old World. It is the second most populous country located entirely south of the equator after Tanzania, and with over 62 million people, South Africa is the world's 23rd most populous nation and covers an area of 1,221,037 square kilometers. It has 3 cities that serve as capitals: Pretoria, Executive, Cape Town, Legislative, and Bloemfontein, Judicial. Johannesburg, the largest urban area and a centre of commerce, lies at the heart of the populous Gauteng province. South Africa is a very unique country and is marked by several distinct ecosystems. Inland safari destination Kruger National Park is populated by big game. The Western Cape offers beaches, lush winelands around Stellenbosch and Paarl, craggy cliffs at the Cape of Good Hope, forests and lagoons along the Garden Route, and the city of Cape Town beneath flat-topped Table Mountain. As you'll be flying into Johannesburg, I'll give you an introduction to the interesting city, then I'll proceed with its top attractions. Johannesburg, colloquially known as Josie, Joburg, or the City of Gold, is South Africa's largest city, with a population of 4,803,262 people. It is classified as a megacity and is one of the 100 largest urban areas in the world. Joburg is the capital of the Gauteng province, which first began as a 19th century gold mining settlement. Its sprawling Soweto township was once home to Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu. Mandela's former residence is now the Mandela House Museum. Other Soweto museums that recount the struggle to end segregation include the Apartheid Museum, which you mentioned that you wanted to visit, and which I'll get into in a little bit, and also Constitution Hill, which is a former prison complex. People from all around the world flock to Johannesburg, and for good reason. It is the place to go to mix big city culture, shopping, dining, and nightlife with outdoor adventures, up-close wildlife encounters, and visits to historical sites. You can explore caves and nature reserves, or visit a traditional village by day, then enjoy dinner at a hip cafe or 5-star restaurant by night.
If you're a shopper, be sure to bring an empty suitcase because with the malls, open air markets, and places that blend the two, you'll be able to shop to your heart's desire.
Now I'm going to focus on specific experiences related to Johannesburg, starting with the Apartheid Museum.
Apartheid, which translates to separateness and aparthood, was a system of institutionalized racial segregation that existed in South Africa and Southwest Africa from 1948 to the 1990s. Apartheid was characterized by an authoritarian political culture based on Bas Kaap, which ensured that South Africa was dominated politically, socially, and economically by the nation's minority white population. The Apartheid Museum was opened in 2001 and is the first of its kind, illustrating the rise and fall of the apartheid. The museum is a superb example of design, space, and landscape, offering the international community a unique South African experience. South Africa's struggle for liberation has been a journey of pain and strife, and the permanent exhibition of the museum displays the country's tumultuous history and truly takes you on a trip through a time that traces the country's footsteps from these dark days of bondage to a place of healing founded on the principles of a democracy. Other attractions of Johannesburg worth mentioning are the Mandela House, which is a museum dedicated to the preservation of the history, heritage, and legacy of the Mandela family. I suggest visiting the Ahalisadi Cultural Village, which is made up of traditional homesteads and provides an opportunity to meet people from Zulu, Xhosa, Pedi, Ndebele, and Basotho origins. Also, the UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Cradle of Humankind, is a complex of 300 limestone caves and is one of the most significant archaeological and anthropological sites in the world. If you want some fun, Gold Reef City is a theme park and casino complex built on the site of a former gold mine, offering 24-hour entertainment for both kids and adults.
There is so much to do in Johannesburg, so if you are worried about trying to fit everything in, there are a ton of guided tours which showcase the city's top attractions, ranging from half day to full day. Okay. So would you like me to do up some quotes for any of these experiences? Yes, sure. Okay, no worries. I'll just pop on the computer and do that for you. Now our next stop is Kruger National Park.
Kruger is one of the greatest wildlife watching destinations in the world, and I'll tell you why. All of Africa's iconic safari species, the lion, leopard, elephant, rhino, cheetah, giraffe, buffalo, hippo, and zebra, share the bushveld with a supporting cast of 137 other mammals and over 500 varieties of bird. The landscape consists of stunning granite hills that pepper the south, the Lubombo Mountains that rise from the savannah in the east, and tropical forests which cover the north of the 19,485 square kilometre park. The area that is now Kruger National Park first came under government protection in 1898 when Paul Kruger, President of the Transvaal Republic, established the Sabi Game Reserve between the Sabi and Crocodile Rivers as a controlled hunting area. In 1902, following the Second Anglo-Boer War, James Stevenson Hamilton became the reserve's first warden. Hamilton was also the first to see the potential of wildlife watching and conservation. From there, the park's popularity has vastly grown due to the extensive networks of roads making it very accessible to tourists, but this also means, you guessed it, big crowds.
If you think the crowds may be too overwhelming for you and you would prefer something more quiet, an option would be considering one of the private reserves that surround the national park. And among these are one of Africa's finest, Sabi Sand. Now, would you like me to do up some quotes for any of the guided safari tours of the national park? Yes, no worries. I'll just be a moment, okay? Now our next stop is Cape Town. And as I said before, you either have the option of getting a train or a domestic flight. Of course, the train is going to take longer, but it's going to provide that scenic experience. But if you just want to get there, then I suggest you catch the domestic flight. I'll leave that with you though. Okay, now Cape Town. Where do I start?
Known as the Mother City for its historical role in the development of modern South Africa, Cape Town is dominated by a magnificent Table Mountain. Its summit draped with cascading clouds, its flanks coated with unique flora and vineyards, and its base fringed by golden beaches. Few cities can boast such a wonderful national park at their heart or provide the wide range of adventurous activities that take full advantage of it. From the vibrant facades of the Boat Cup and the bathing chalets of Muizenberg to striking street art and the Afro-chic decor of countless guest houses, this is one attractive metropolis you surely won't want to miss.
Now let's focus on Table Mountain, as you mentioned that as a point of interest, and a very good one at that.
At around 600 million years old, flat-top Table Mountain is a real showstopper. You can admire the iconic Table Mountain National Park from multiple angles, but you really can't say you visited Cape Town until you've stood on top of it.
If you want a relaxing trip to the top, then taking the Table Mountain rail car is a no-brainer.
The cable car runs every 10 minutes in high season and every 15 to 20 minutes at all other times. It doesn't run when it's very windy, so I suggest calling or looking online in advance to see if it's operating. There's also not much point going up if the top is wrapped in the cloud known as the tablecloth. The best visibility and conditions are likely to be first thing in the morning or evening. But if visibility is good, both views from the revolving car and at the summit are phenomenal.
Now, if you want to get to the top the hardcore way by climbing, there are a range of ways to ascend from gardens.
None of the routes up are easy and it's very steep, so I suggest you allow about 2.5 hours to reach the upper cableway station at a steady pace.
Be warned because the route is exposed to the sun, so try to climb as early in the morning as possible, and also bring plenty of water, sunscreen, and as I mentioned before, comfortable sturdy shoes.
Once you reach the upper cableway station, there are concrete paths to the restaurant, shop and various terraces. To reach the mountain's 1,088 metre summit, you need to go a bit further along the track to Maclear's Beacon, at a distance of around 5 kilometres, which should take a 1 hour round trip. Other experiences to be had in Cape Town would be visiting the V&A waterfront, which has a dynamic mix of shopping, eating and entertainment, based around a working harbour that is Cape Town's most popular attraction. Boarding a ferry to the World Heritage Site of Robben Island, where it was used as a prison and place where people were isolated, banished and exiled for nearly 400 years. If you're a wine drinker, you wouldn't want to miss the Constantia wine route, which comprises of 15 upmarket wine estates and restaurants. There is also the Kirstenbosch National Botanical Garden, where its location and unique flora combine to make these 5.28 square kilometre botanical gardens amongst the most beautiful in the world. And lastly, if you just want to chill out and relax, there are several beaches located on the western side of the peninsula that will give you the opportunity to kick back and soak up some rays.
There are so many other things to do in Cape Town. I honestly couldn't mention them all, which is why it's so popular. But at least you won't be stuck with choice. Now, would you like me to do you up some quotes for any of the experiences that I mentioned? Yes, sure. I'll just do that for you now. Now, have you thought about transportation or accommodation or anything like that? Not yet? That's fine. Well, I actually have a wonderful book here that I would love to show you. This is a truly wonderful book on South Africa. Let's take a look inside. As always, we have our 4 easy to use sections here, and also how to use this book. And our table of contents. We have a map of South Africa. and we have its top experiences. So Kruger's incredible wildlife, which is something you mentioned you wanted to do. We have urban exploring, mountain highs. Look at that, just incredible scenery there. It's just no place like it. We have coastal rambles, wonderful wines, wilderness and wildlife, draw near to history, quiet towns and regions, wildlife at the heartland and creatures of the sea, these cute little penguins, charming Lesotho, exploring Eswatini. Okay, and then we've arrived at our need to know section. So all our usual things like currencies, language, visas, money, mobile phone and time. We also have useful websites, important numbers, exchange rates, and then our daily costs, getting around, arriving in South Africa. What's news? And then we have our month by month section. So what's happening month by month in South Africa, and itineraries. So we have our activities section here. If you want to plan to do any of these things, it gives you great information. Lots of outdoor activities. Great country to explore the outdoors. Travel with children. And we have our regions at glance too. So what I wanted to do was go back to the contents, and we'll just go by where we're going to visit. So first of all, you're flying into Johannesburg. So let's look. So 3:25. Let's go straight there. Okay. So we have the Johannesburg and Gauteng. So why go, best places to eat, best places to stay, when to go. We have a map, and we also have Johannesburg's highlights on the side here. So we have history, sites. This book is amazing at giving you an understanding of the history of all these places and why you should visit them. So yeah, I recommend these books so much. The neighborhood. There's the Apartheid Museum. Constitution Hill. We've got drinking and nightlife, entertainment, Joburg's best markets, best Soweto tours, sites and activities, Cradle of Humankind. It's a nice section on here. It's good to read up on. I think we should go have a look at your next stop that you wanted to visit, which was Kruger. So what's this on this page? Yeah, 397. Here we are at Kruger National Park. So again, it has best places to eat, best places to stay, why go, and when to go. Okay. So it has its history. It's always good to read up on the history of the places you go to. I like doing that when I travel to places. Wildlife watching, there's tours, lots of activities that you can do whilst you're there. There's also sleeping and eating. There's a map of Central Kruger National Park and around. Picnic spots. Entry times. So that's that section, okay. Now let's have a look where Cape Town was, so 54. Right back at the start. Now, here we go. Alright. So, Cape Town. Again, that section there. We have our history. We have sites. We have a map. Have a look, see? With Cape Town highlights. Table Mountain, nice section there to read. Has the cableway, information about the cableway, information about climbing at the top and top tips. We have a map. So many things to do and see whilst in Cape Town. Is Robben Island here. Information about Robben Island. Greenpoint and Waterfront. Atlantic Coast. Peninsula Hubs. Cape Town for Children. township tours. It's beautiful. That was Nelson Mandela's cell at Robben Island. It's a picture of Cape Town. And that is Kruger National Botanical Garden. How stunning is that? Wow. We have other things such as a lion head, how to hike safely and hiking tips, if that's your thing. More maps, places to stay, eating, drinking and nightlife. Lots of places. LGBTIQ plus and Cape Town. Entertainment. Weekend markets. Honestly, you just cannot go wrong with this book. It just covers everything. This is about the wine region, this section. Alright, I just wanted to flick through to the back because there was a section I wanted to show you. We have a people and culture section. And our survival guide section. So I wanted to touch on this section of safe travel because crime is something you need to be aware of when you are visiting South Africa, especially in Johannesburg, as the risks are highest. Okay, although many people visit South Africa without any problems, okay, but just keep that in perspective. So just be careful how you would normally be careful. So look out for ATM and credit card scams. Be careful of your passport, make sure it's safe. Also your wallet and money and any valuables, make sure they are safe. Remember that violence against women is widespread throughout South Africa, and exercise caution, okay? If you're a woman and you are traveling alone, make sure you always stay in safe areas and just be aware of your surroundings. I don't want to get too deeply into it, but you should always exercise caution and safety when traveling to a different country, because it is something that you are not accustomed to and familiar with. Okay? And also ask locals about areas to avoid, and don't walk around after dark when the risk of mugging is high. I really don't want to scare you about going there because, again, like I said, many travelers travel to South Africa every year without incident, but you should definitely be aware of these things, okay? Okay, and we also have a map of Cape Town at the back. You're welcome to look at it if you like. No worries, take your time. Okay, do you have any questions for me? No? Okay, sure. I'll just pop back on the computer and finalize your itinerary and send you an electronic copy, and I'll also print a hard copy out for you. Okay? Alright, just one moment. Okay, should be all there. It's my pleasure. I hope you have a safe and wonderful trip.